So hey besties, let's go cook for that man and them children. So we have some red snapper, and the red snapper did come whole, but I do not like the heads on the fish. I do not like working or cooking fish with the heads on there. I just prefer not to. So I have my husband coming here, take the heads off, and then we're going to start cleaning the fish. Being that we didn't have any lemon, we're gonna go ahead and just use some vinegar and just put some cool water in a bowl or a pot, whatever you're going to use to clean your fish, and we're going to start cleaning our fish, and then we're going to start scoring the sides so that we can make sure whatever seasoning we're using is going to be inside the fish as well as outside of the fish. Now, red snapper is one of my favorite fish. It does have a lot of bone in it, so if you're a person who does not like fish that has a lot of bone, this is not the fish for you. Especially when you fry it, I feel like this fish is just so good. So this is definitely in my top 5 favorite of fish. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the fish off and get all the parts of the fish off of there that I do not want on there. And I'm going to do 3 fish tonight. My kids does not eat fish. My kids does not eat red snapper. They eat fish. They just don't eat fish that has any bones in it because they're still very young. So we're just going to go ahead and make them something separate. Now that I am almost done with cleaning my fish, I'm going to go ahead and get my oven on and start preheating that. We're going to put the oven on 350, and that's going to get hot. After I get my oven on, it's time to go ahead and start working on our compound butter. So I have a stick of butter, and I let it sit out for a little bit because I wanted to bring it to room temperature, and I'm using unsalted butter because we're definitely going to season our fish and we don't want too much salt on the fish. So after we put our stick of unsalted butter in there, we're going to go in with some herbs, and we have some thyme, we have some rosemary, and we have some fresh parsley that we chopped up. Then we went on ahead and got us some fresh garlic as well and started chopping up the garlic, and then we add the garlic to the butter. After we got all of that in the bowl, we're going to go ahead and start mixing it. So I started to use a fork, but that fork just wasn't doing what it needed to do. So I had to go up in there with my hands, y'all, and I started working them herbs and the garlic inside of the butter. The softer your butter is, the easier it is to do this process. So you really want to make sure that you set your butter out and bring your butter up to room temperature as much as you possibly can. I had my butter sitting out for a while and I thought that it was good and ready to go, but obviously it was not. If you have a mixer or anything like that, you also can use that as well, and it will get this process done a whole lot faster and a whole lot smoother. So after you get your compound butter made, if you would like, you can stick it back in the refrigerator and let it harden up before you use it. You can also make this and store it in your freezer, and you can have it for any other dishes you're making, chicken, fish, steak, whatever it is, and you can have it and it's delicious. Now for those of you who don't know, I do have my own seasoning line. It's called the Pretty Girls No Flavor. This is the Cajun Hot Blend. We also have an all-purpose seasoning, and we also have a bundle as well available. I'll leave the link in the comment section below so you can go to the website. This is me seasoning down the red snapper with some of the all-purpose seasoning from my Pretty Girls No Flavor line. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add in some Old Bay, because anytime I'm cooking seafood, I feel like Old Bay, it just goes hand in hand like a marriage. After we add that Old Bay in there, I'm going to go ahead and with some paprika because we grown, and I'm going to add a little more paprika because I like paprika. After that, we're going to go ahead and make sure we marinate that fish, get all them flavors combined together. You want to get seasoning everywhere, inside the slices on the fish, inside the fish, outside the fish, on the skin, on the tail. You want flavor everywhere. Now if you have time after your fish is seasoned, you can go ahead and put it in the refrigerator, let it marinate for 2 hours and then cook it. Or if you're not and you have to get dinner done right now, you can just go ahead on to the next step. Either way, I promise you it's going to be so good. So after our fish is completely covered in seasoning, everything is seasoned to perfection, we're going to go ahead and start adding our compound butter. So I'm just going to take our butter, put it in little slices, and then I'm going to start adding it to the fish. First I added some to the inside of the fish, and after I got some of the compound butter on the inside of all 3 of my fishes, I'm going to go ahead and add some butter to the slices that we made on the outside of the fish. Once I get that process complete, I'm going to go ahead and stick my fish in the oven. Now, when we put it in the oven, we're not going to add any water or anything to it because the butter itself is going to make enough liquid in there that you don't have to worry about adding any liquid to your pan. So while I'm going to finish adding my compound butter to my fish, I have my oven preheating. Next, we're going to go ahead and start working on our sides. I personally like to do some mashed potatoes, maybe some yellow rice, add some veggies, and then if you like, you can add in some onions, some peppers, some frozen vegetables right in the same pan that you're going to cook your fish with, and then you can have your fish and your vegetables all done at the same time, and it makes a super easy cleanup job. So we're going to go ahead, put this in the oven, and I am not going to cover it because when I do red snapper, I like to have that skin on the fish super crispy. So I like to make sure that the oven is giving it enough heat so that that skin can crisp up the way that I like it to. So I'm finally done with my compound butter, adding it to my fish, and now we're going to go ahead and leave it in the oven. And this is our results of how it came out. Super crispy, moist on the inside, super delicious. Get you some rice, get you some veggies, get whatever you like, and go ahead and enjoy your fish. That's just the butter that I'm pouring on top, and I'm telling you, it is delicious. Make sure you subscribe, give me a like, leave me a comment, or share this video, and make sure you stay tuned for the next one. Bye, guys.